The black church is going to get mad at me for saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Man, y'all check this out. Listen, man, here's the deal. This video very well might be a few things, right? It might be shocking because when I first saw it, yeah, I was shocked to see it. It might be distasteful to others because I've read the comments and a lot of y'all think it was very distasteful. It might not be something that you and your spouse would do in public. Hey, might be so. But what it is not is sin. Here is a man, gospel artist, pastor, whatever you want to call him. Here's a man celebrating on his 50th birthday, dancing with his wife. Yeah, she is dancing on him. Hey, again, might not be something you would do. Might not be something my wife would do in public. But these are two free-spirited Christian people who are celebrating, one, his birthday, two, the love that they have for one another. And what you're not going to do is try to deduce this down to something sinful, because it is not. It would have been sinful had the man been somebody else and not her husband. It would have been sinful if the woman would have been somebody else, not his wife. But you talking about he leading people astray. The marriage bed is undefiled, but shouldn't bring that into the public's eye. And how dare you? And it's ungodly. And y'all got mad at Bishop T.D. Jakes and Serena Jakes for dancing at a concert, and they weren't even grinding on one another like that. Y'all got mad at that. Listen, Deitrick Haddon has always been a free-spirited individual. He's always said, what, the church going left? Well, I'm going to go right. He's always been the guy to say, no, I'm going to live according to my own my own way of doing things. I'm going to dance to the beat of my own drum. He's always been that guy. He was just at the concert, the Usher concert, he and his wife jamming. They don't have a problem with it. His church don't have a problem with it. It ain't sin. So why are y'all up and got your panties all up in a bunch about it? Well, he supposed to be an example. Well, I've read what he said, and he said this was him showing an example on how a husband and wife can love on one another and be free to do that. So keep it kingdom. Just keep it kingdom. If it's a kingdom issue, let's focus on that. This ain't a kingdom issue. This is a man celebrating with his wife, and this is how they celebrate. Might not be your cup of tea, but it's theirs. All right. Love y'all. Do good. Be good. Why? Because God created you good. My name is Damon Redding. Until the next video. Peace out.
Greetings, salutations, happy Friday, everybody. It's been a crazy week already, and I hate that we have to come in on a Friday, but thank you. What up, D? What up, D? But it's a Friday. Thank you for joining me. But it's been a wild week. Ever since this came out, it's been like back and forth. Everybody's been going at it, had their thing to say. I actually covered it a little bit on my live Monday, but because everybody's been going at it, I decided to take a little bit out of my day and do it before I, do whatever I do before I go to bed. Got a long weekend too, but anyway, decided to do this little quick show, but I had a couple of things that showed up. So let's get right to it. First things first, This came up in my inbox, and it was funny. Who noticed that men are no longer persuasive once they ask you out and say no, case is closed? Yes. Fellas, yes. If you ask them out and they say no, then go to the next one. Was that very easy for you? I mean, I don't mean to be like that, but it's really self-explanatory. We don't need to be chasing women if they don't want to be with you. Then yeah, that should be it, because you end up looking crazy trying to chase after a woman that showed, girl, he chasing me, girl, no, 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 don't do that. So don't do it. It just makes no sense, because in the very end of the day, you end up spending money, you end up spending time. Those are two of your most valuable resources, fellas, is your time and your resources. And while they're telling you no, you're spending money, you're sending them flowers, you're doing this. And sometimes they even go out to eat with you and have no intentions on being with you, and you're out of, nah. If they say no, if ask them for their number, they give you any kind of pushback, then they're not interested, and keep it moving. It's really that simple. It was crazy that even young children deal with this. Even young children deal with this. I didn't know until I started working in childcare, but even young children deal with this. Little 10 and 11-year-old boys getting turned down, taking L's. Exactly. It makes us look extremely thirsty, and we don't thirst, fellas. We don't. We don't do that. You get your worth up. You know what to do, and they will come to you. Pause, but not really. All right. Next thing happened, man. It leads me to this. I've been seeing quite a few posts, and I've said before, what up, Ronnie? Thank you so much. Go Lakers. Yeah, go home. They with us right now. But I've been seeing a lot of posts, and I've expressed this before. When I was younger, I actually should have gone to therapy for the heartache that I experienced when I was younger. And I think that's something that we should not just overlook in our community, because there's a lot of people out here that experience things from relationships and everything else, and they don't go to therapy, and they end up bitter, or they end up with the walls of Jericho, and there is no praise that can bring that wall down. There's no praise that could bring, thank you. There's no praise that could bring that wall down. So we as men and women, we should look into therapy especially after bad breakup. But I saw this post, and it brought me to this. And she's a wonderful person. She's a wonderful soul. I'm not putting her name up here, but she said, I'm not afraid of love. I'm scared of loving someone while they pretend to love me. And that is what I'm saying, because that wall is up, because the man that comes into your life, he now has to deal with every other man that has treated you wrong. This is what I say therapy is important, because you can't come into this thing not whole. I mean, I understand you're going to bring some, but it's the difference between bringing a dust speckle and then you bringing a whole lot of drama, a whole lot of baggage with you. I think therapy is important. I can attest to this, because this was me. This was me. I was scared to let fall for a woman because I had been hurt so many times. So therapy would have done me well. Now, if I could go back, of course, I would do therapy, but it's not really pressed in our neighborhood. It's not really encouraged. But I want to tell you, everybody who may watch this, who are watching now, who may watch it later, therapy is not a bad thing. Speaking to someone who's trained to help you through certain life situations, that's not necessarily a bad thing to do. You should absolutely do that. But I saw something that, man, it takes a lot for me to get emotional in this thing. Not necessarily crying, but it was something that made me be like, whoa. And I saw this article that came up, and it was Derek Jackson's ex-wife, said he slept with nearly 100 women since they met when he was 19. So that means he was never, ever faithful to this woman. Never, ever faithful. And I saw an interview that was sent to me, and it was wild what happened. I want you guys to take a look at what was said. And man, if you have a heart, you will reach out to this woman as far as you can empathize with her. Let's watch.
What did that do to you?
I became a shell of myself. I didn't know who I was. I actually have a couple posts on my page where I have a post that says, I knew her body better than I knew my own.
Stop. Let that sit there. You said you knew another woman's body better than you knew your own?
Yes, several women. I know several. I knew several other women's bodies better than I knew my own, and I spent a lot of time. Like I went in such a deep hole where I was like studying these women. I would go to their profiles and I would study their pages and like what they wear. I knew when when they had met up. So I watched their videos of them having sex. So I would try to imitate that and recreate that in our relationships so that he could choose me and want me. And that is a low point to be. And I'm tearing up a little bit because I hate that I even got to a point where that was a thing, but that it was just that. And so I knew several other women's bodies better than I knew my own. I completely lost myself. I became a shell of myself. I tried to imitate their hair, their actions, even sexual things that I had seen him doing with them. I tried to recreate that in our life when we were engaged, and none of it amounted to anything.
D, I saw your comment, and I hear what you're saying. I mean, D, let me post it right quick. He said it's her fault. You said it's her fault. Now she stayed with him. I mean, but to be fair, a lot of us, men and women, have stayed in relationships that we should have left. To be fair, we have stayed in relationships that we should have left, men and women. And I think, when you were younger, you do that. I mean, as you age, you should learn better, but you don't build walls, but you just learn from these experiences. But I agree with you what you're saying. But I can, man, some of the stuff that I subjected myself to, the relationships that I stuck around, the abuse, because men can be abused too. We are very rarely physically abused, or that we talk about rather, but that emotional, that mental, and that verbal abuse, that comes. That absolutely comes. And can you imagine having to put yourself in another person's body because the person that you were in love with, you felt like you wasn't pleasing them? And that's I mean, I understand what you're saying, D, and I'm totally in agreement with you. But on the other side, you can't help but I have some empathy for this woman because nobody deserves to be treated like she did. Let me say this. I remember when I first started doing lives. I first started doing lives, and it was right here. My amp was in the back, had my camera with the lens set where it could be blurred in the background, and I was just starting to get into this thing. I was a little nervous a few times, but now, it's like natural. But at first, I remember covering these two, Kevin Samuels and Derrick Jackson. I remember that live like yesterday. And one of the things that I said about Derrick Jackson is that he was a panda bear. I said this man was a panda bear. I called him a panda bear all the time. I said he's a panda bear. He's going to tell you everything that you want to hear and really gas you up and project himself to be something that I never thought he was. In fact, I kind of felt, and I was right, he was the polar opposite. I don't give on here and put I tell you parts of my life that I experienced, but I don't tell you, oh, yeah, you. No. I'll give you the information and you can run with it. But he was like, oh, yeah, that man is this. But you were everything. You were actually 10 times worse than the men you told these women to not be with. And you were married. Now, what happened when they were dating, they were young or whatever, and I know y'all kill me for it, but you're single till you're married. Once you take those vows, that's when it's real. You took those vows, you signed that license. I know Scrutinize hates that, but you signed the license. Yeah, he's a clown. Same time, you shouldn't allow yourself. I get it. And I can be honest with you, I've been there. And once you are there, men, we very rarely, let's be honest, fellas. We've been in relationships where we wasn't getting what we needed. It was like a one-way street. You were giving your time, you give your resources, you was being supportive of everything that they wanted to do, but you wasn't getting anything back, but you still stayed. A lot of men, let's be honest for once, fellas. We have been here. I know I have, and be honest, fellas, a lot of you have too. And really, what made you stay? Of course, we get fed up, we get up out of there, but you still stayed. And a lot of us stayed longer than we should have. And so women, they do it too. But I can't imagine what it's like. Did I ever experience that? I think I did, but I was way young. I was 16. But yeah, you when that person you know they been with, you do be like, what do they see? Basically, if you asked yourself if you've been cheated on or she's left you for another guy or whatever, you did ask yourself, well, what does she see in this other guy, or what did he see in this other woman that I'm not doing? You at least did that. Trying to fix those red flags with best. Yeah, it absolutely will mess yourself up. Man, this messed me up, which is why I'm divorced and still single. You know what, D? We go count. I hear you, my boy. I'm not even gonna conquer that one. I'm just saying, man. I've experienced that. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be cheated on. I know what it's like to ask yourself, man, what is he doing that I'm not doing? But then as you level up and you become a better version of you and you mature as a man, you realize, well, I can't say what I want to say on here. Do I have my sense of thing on here? I don't even have my sense of beat. Yes, I do. You be like, I'm not going to deal with it. That's what you say. Really, you say, man, forget that. I ain't dealing with it. I'm much better. You know your worth. And how do you know your worth? Because your worth has been gauged by your success. And you look back at those women, you see that what they are now, and you like, man, I dodged a bullet. I dodged a bullet. I really did. And you know what, fellas? A lot of us has said that. We've said when we got that, a lot of us, especially my dudes, we've all experienced that utopia where you are leveling up and you seeing everything working in your favor and you getting better, you making more money, you coming into your own. You have said these women, you have said that. You have said it. And ladies, you've done it too. Now, I'm going to be fair across the board on that. But let me tell y'all something. Some of y'all ain't shift. Y'all ain't shift. The internet is yet undefeated, but I'm going to post something. I want to know what you guys thought about it. When you saw this, we know Tina Turner died, passed away, and then we saw this. I know this is funny to some of us and everything, but if you were ever to read her her autobiography or biography of her and what she endured from him, I don't think you would probably have done this. Now, you could have fun. I'm not telling you you can't have fun. I'm not here to judge you on that. But when I saw this and I said, wow, first of all, that's Lawrence Fishburne. Number two, he ain't going to be, the real Ike is not going to be waiting for her in the pearly gates. That man, some of that stuff wasn't true and it was capped in the movie. But the real story, yeah, he was pretty bad to her. And I'm not sure if I would have posted this. I'm not sure if when I saw it, I didn't laugh. But I know some of you have wild sense of humors. But when I saw it, I was like, I was like, I'm not feeling that. I wasn't feeling that. Because when the first thing that came to my mind when I saw it was really bad, I was like,
this is bullshit.
But, y'all have y'all fun with it. The internet is yet undefeated. And it's always going to be a camera somewhere to catch somebody. And we're moving on. Preachers Gone Wild should not be 72, everybody. But yet it is 72. We just going to keep these numbers going up. We're going to keep it going up because I still got a lot more. But every week something happens, and this is twice in a week because we're covering something that we should not be. But I think, let me say this, and I'm going to be clear with it. I have links to my show up on Facebook and YouTube. If you desire to jump on here when I get going, you can. I will let anyone on tonight. So if you've seen anybody say anything about this, tag them, let them know that I'm live right now to talk about this situation. We got a couple of videos, but they got time to get here. Go to their inbox, tag them and say, hey, D. Hearns live. You can get on there. The link is there. Tell me you see the link at the top. Tell them we're here. If you are a person that disagreed, I want you here. If you're a person that agreed, I definitely want you here because I want to hear your side. And so after tonight, I'm personally not going to talk about it. I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to say anything about it. But if you're one of those people, because the ones that I really want is the ones that was telling everybody to shut up and mind your business. Oh, I really want you here. I want all the smoke. I want the smoke, but it's not going to go. Y'all watch my show. Y'all know it's never the way you think. But I still want the smoke. I want to know your reasoning. I want to know the reason why you think it's wrong. I want those people too. But those people that I really, really want, you the one that told me to shut up or people to shut up, and the ones that were in my inbox, I want you here. So if you know them and they've said their due and they left their soliloquies all up on Facebook, I want them here. So you can tag them and let them know we're doing this tonight. If I have an interpreter in the room, we can go. I got to do some house cleaning right quick. You just can't make this up. You just can't make this up. But anyway, now let's start off with some fun. Pastor Dan Willis of Lighthouse All Nations I think they're on the south side. I do like his church. I like his ministry. I like his musicians that go there. One of my close friends actually just started playing there. So when he sees this, he's going to laugh because your preacher just made Preachers Gone Wild, and I'm going to show you why.
Do you really mean to tell me? Are you kidding me that my yoga is what's going to determine whether or not? Oh, careful, careful, careful. Oh, guys, push me back up. Push me, push me. Get the camera off of me. Push. Sorry, push. Okay, Jesus. Oh, Lord Jesus. Sorry. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Sorry. Over the front. Okay, over the. All right, let's. Help me back. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. All right. Okay. All right. All right, so. All right, sorry. All right, so I have some improvement to do on my yoga. These pants are really tight today. Why did I wear such tight pants? Oh, Jesus. Push my leg up, push my leg up, push my leg, push my leg, push my leg. All right. How you guys doing back here? Woo! Sorry, kids. Whoops. Sorry.
You would have thought that by the first time that he would have just stopped. Why continue to go? Somebody real quick, when did climbing over the pews become a thing? When did that become a thing? Because I'm worried, because the first time I saw it, it was at my own home church, and I was like,
Bye, Felicia.
I didn't think it was something that, I wanted to see. It was the most ridiculous thing I ever seen. I was like, why are you climbing over the pews? For what reason? And then I realized that it depends. If you're saying, I'm climbing over valleys, I'm climbing over my troubles, I'm climbing, I wish I had my hoop triggers, I'm climbing, then I would probably, well, in the Baptist churches, okay, good, D. Okay. But if you would say, I'm climbing out of my situation, I'm climbing over then you did that, yeah, you might get it, pause. But we've been seeing it, and this was pretty bad. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Yes. What does a pastor need to do to be kicked out of a church? Formally kicked out of a church. What do you think needs to happen? You can type it in the comment section. You can tell me, what do you think needs to happen? I pulled up this oldie but goodie that was, well, it was actually sent to me. And it was sent to me. And I said, wow, it's an oldie but goodie. But I want you guys, I might not play the whole thing. In fact, I am not. But I want you guys to see what happened here. This man was kicked out of the church. And when you find out why, you're going to be freaking out. You're gonna trip out. Here we go.
And read Brother Elliott actually come forward and read the letter of termination.
Attention, Tim Max. This is your notice of immediate termination from your position as pastor of Union Grove Baptist Church. Your tenure at the church has caused desertion and strife among the members, in addition to numerous documented accounts of internal infliction of the emotional distress of targeted members that would rally against your unscrupulous behavior as pastor of this church. Furthermore, your directed attacks at Mother Biggs constitute as no less than elder abuse and as well as slander against an upright individual that has been a member of the church for the majority of her life. Your repeated attacks and unfounded statements against this elderly woman amounts to no more than petty, childish retaliation at an elder who wants to see the best for her church. Your negligence in the positions that you hold, as well as undocumented credentials for the position that you hold, provide all evidence necessary to have you removed from the position as pastor of this church. You are not qualified, nor have you or do you act becoming of your position. You are not a preacher. You are not a pastor. You are a wolf in sheep's clothing. Amen. You need to be removed. You have brought national attention to the mockery of your pastoral leadership and have embarrassed the legacy of Union Grove Baptist Church. As of today, you are no longer the pastor of Union Grove Baptist Church. At the receipt of this letter of termination, you are hereby ordered to remove your belongings from Union Grove Baptist Church and never return under penalty of law and the threat of a protective order.
Thank you. Aye. Next vote we will take, we have...
So you're probably wondering, what could he have done to be tossed from this church? I'm sure if you were listening, you heard what happened. He pretty much slandered or had words with an older woman. Now, how old was this woman? This woman was actually 103 years old. Her people were the founders of this church. So she's the oldest existing member of this church. And he decided to go at her and have her removed. He kicked her out of the church, essentially, which is crazy. So you're probably saying, wait, I need more information. Well, you know your boy got you. Ham Biggs debacle told Reverend Maddie she did not agree with his preaching style, but her complaints didn't sit well with him. Soon after she voiced her opinion, the letter arrived. The letter came in certified mail, and her church privileges were revoked. And it says, "Dear Mrs. Janora Ham Biggs, this letter is to inform you that according to the bylaws of Union Grove Baptist Church and vote by active members, any membership associations that you have with this church are now officially revoked. Therefore, you cannot attend Union Grove Baptist Church for any reason whatsoever. You are not allowed to come to the property of Union Grove Baptist Church." And why would you? See, that's some extra pettiness, that you put the address on there. This woman showed up to the church. Now, he intentionally, according to Church Folks Revolution, I watched it, he said she came to the church. He intentionally canceled service. They had this woman up in there, 103, had this woman up in there by herself with the lights off. She just wanted to talk to him. And then called the sheriffs to arrest her. She's 103 years old, and you called the sheriffs to arrest her. Now, obviously, the sheriffs did not arrest her. They was like, no, we ain't doing this to this woman. What threat could she cause to you? She's 103. Now, how did she get there? I'm not sure, but she's 103. She's over 100 years old. And you decided to do this to her. So you probably wonder, what was going, wait. She didn't agree with his preaching style. Well, what was his preaching style? Yo, boy, got you again. She was a retired teacher, right? She said that the practices used by Reverend Maddox was not Baptist. D, this is going to interest you. He's a holy sanctified minister, or he says. We voted him in and didn't know it until he was there. We are Baptists, and that's where we want to stay. So the man was a holiness preacher. And one article I saw said he tried to lay hands on people. Well, those of us who grew up in holiness, like myself, we know we're going to do all of that. We're going to lay hands. We're going to tear you at the altar. We're going to have you foaming at the mouth. We're going to have that little cup and the towel to go over you when you fall out. They don't do that in some Baptist churches. In fact, here in Indiana, if you start speaking in tongues, they're going to ask you to leave. If you start doing all that, they're going to be like, you got to go. Some Baptist churches don't believe in that. They don't think it takes all of that. They don't think it takes all of that. So this happened to be one. He wanted to take them to the holiness style, I guess charismatic, I guess you would say, and they wasn't with it. They wasn't with it. And so she said something about it. He didn't like it, and he had her revoked. And the way he went about doing it, talking about her and slandering her, the people of the church, they do look at those church mothers. I know in our churches, we just honor them. We look at them, we say, church mothers, you nice, yeah. But in Baptist churches, they mean something because they are the pillars of some of them Baptist churches. They've been there since conception. I remember one, Mother Oliver. She's been at Greater First since it was started. Her husband was on the initial board. So you don't say nothing about Mother Oliver. You didn't say anything about her because she was a pillar. You are asking for it when you mess with the people. Their people founded the church. And unlike some of our churches where you can start it off and it goes, Baptist churches, they vote you in. And you know the funny thing about it? They vote you out. So if you take, that happened actually to me. The church that I went to was called Greater First Baptist Church. It was in East Chicago, Indiana, out here. And when I got there, they were Baptists, but the preacher was starting to take them there. He would speak in tongue every now and then. He was starting to take them to a more charismatic, prophetic kind of situation. And then the pastor who's there now, Bishop Tavis Grant, he took it to a whole nother level. But I remember when I first got there, some of the members were having their words about Reverend Burns because they didn't like that he was speaking tongues. They didn't like that he would try to prophesy. They didn't like that. That's not what Greater First Baptist Church was about. They were a Baptist church. The deacons start off the service with them suits. Them deacons would start the service. That's how you know. As far as I know, the only Baptist church I know speaking in tongues, this Holy Charismatic, is Full Gospel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and in Chicago, you may run across a couple of them. You may run across a couple, but in Indiana, oh, no, not really. When they say Missionary Baptist Church, we ain't doing nothing that. We ain't doing nothing. Yeah, devotion. That's what it is. Thank you, D. And so at our church, they just was, as Bishop Grant became more popular and the church just blew up, that church grew quick. He was there like a month, and that church, we started outgrowing. We went from 1 services to 3 services. That's how that church just blew up. And then they left that building and went to another building where they are right now. That's how quick that church grew. But he was not Baptist. He was more charismatic. But the initial ones, no. But the only reason why they didn't trip, because Mother Oliver didn't bother her. She was okay with it. Because if Mother Oliver, and I forgot the other one, it was like 2 mothers. I hope my mom, I don't know if my mom's on here, but it was another one. Jefferson, I don't know if it was Mother Jefferson, I forgot her name, but it was the mothers of that church. They was cool with it, they were cool with it, and that's the only reason why they was able to fly. Because I think if Mother Oliver had something to say about it, and I forgot the other name, I think it's Mother Jefferson, but if she had something to say about it, it wasn't going to happen, and he probably would have been out the door anyway. They would say no. So this is what happened. That was crazy. So we know you can sleep with women in the church and not get kicked out. You can steal money from the church and not get kicked out. You can do everything in the world, including have your half-naked wife twerking on you and not be kicked out. But if you preach, if you're a holiness preacher, you speak in tongues, They gonna find a way to get rid of you. You can't make this shift up. You can't make it up. You just can't make it up. Speaking of twerking, I gotta go back. Sorry. What is she doing? Yo, somebody come get y'all first lady. Somebody come get y'all first lady. She twerking in the middle of a concert outside. Come get your first lady since y'all like twerking so much. Y'all like twerking so much. Come get your first lady. But that was crazy. If it was me, now I've been in situations where we played, but they were drunk. Maybe she was drunk, but they were drunk. And trust me, overseas, they don't care if you singing gospel or anything. You up there playing, oh, happy day, oh, happy day. And they like, yeah, they straight up twerking on your oh, happy day when they drunk. And those of us who have been overseas, we know they get really, really, really lit while you're singing gospel music. So I can understand that if she was drunk. But see, I brought that up for a reason. But before we get to your boy Deitrick, that's taking on a whole new meaning right now. But anyway, before we get to Deitrick, I want to show you something. A lot of you can read. Well, let's read something real fast. Let's read the Snoop Dogg lyrics. I can exercise you. This gonna be your fifth ed. Cheat on your man, ma. That's how you get in his head. Killer with the beat. I know all killers in the street with the steel that make you feel like a chinchilla in the heat. So don't try run up on my ear talking all that raspy shift, trying to ask me shift. When my ninjas fill your vest, they ain't gonna pass me shift. You should think about it. Take a second. Matter of fact, you should take 4B and think before you falcon with little skateboard P. Y'all see those lyrics, right? Are these lyrics that you would sing in front of your pastor? Now, be honest. Would you sing those lyrics in front of your pastor? If your pastor was standing there and y'all was outside vibing and there was a beat going, would you say those lyrics, that line? Yes or no? Absolutely, positively not. So, with that, without further ado, take a listen.
You should think about it. Take a second. Matter of fact, you should take 4B.
Mighty funny. It went off before it got to that last part. So, this whole video started a whole conversation, and we are here now. My background, that's Magic City. Might as well represent since we all here having fun. Since we out here having fun, I decided to have Magic City behind me. This is Kasia, this is Monica, that's Diamond, and that's Passion. These are my girls for the night. Hope y'all like them. They gonna just stand there and pose for the whole next 15, 20 minutes while we have this discussion. But A lot of you had your say about this thing. You had your say. And I watched you and I literally saw a lot what you had to say. But you weren't the only ones talking tonight and this week. Even his wife had something to say. The first thing she put up was this: the church is sexually frustrated. Now, what I don't understand, and hopefully you guys can help me out here, I didn't get that they were sexually frustrated. I didn't get that from the many comments that I read because I did a little research. I had to do a little detective work here. And I read some of the comments, and I didn't get sexually frustrated. I mean, you know what's crazy to me? How the Falcon can the church be sexually frustrated when there's a lot of sex to be had in church? That's what I'm confused on. You getting teenage pregnancies and pregnancies happening every other month. You got somebody knocked up with no families. No, we're not sexually frustrated. We're marriage frustrated. There aren't a whole lot of marriages and relationships, but there's a whole lot of babies being popped up. So it's not sexually frustrating that's happened. It's just frustrating that we're seeing all this sex and no marriages. So no, the church is not sexually frustrated. So you cannot use that as an excuse, ma'am. There is some clapping of the cheeks going on, going on. There's some clapping of the cheeks going on. It's some clapping of the cheeks. I can write I think I just did, write a whole song about it. Well, that part of it, Mara. Wait, I'm going to put the chat overlay on because y'all finna get lit right now. And I expect you to. Get lit. Because this is what I'm saying. It's the projection that was irritating to me. It was the projection. Oh, you just mad, or you just this, you just that. No, we're not that. It's that other thing. Because some of us looked at this thing and we were like, whoa, wait a minute. What's this? Actually, it's really par for the course, but we're going to get to that part. But you saying this church is sexually frustrated. I will cover that. But the church ain't sexually frustrated. Trust me. It's sex going on. It's some sex going. Shh, 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 shh. Be quiet, be quiet. You hear that? That somebody getting clapped. But then you followed it up and you said this. This is a revelation. The church doesn't talk about sex. I agree with you to a certain degree. There's no education. They talk about it, but it's not really to educate. We touch on it, but I agree with you there. And now when you see married folks twerking and you're in a frenzy, good golly, Miss Molly, let's do a better job of stewarding the people that have been called to us. Let's see more Christian marriages on display in all their glory. Lastly, y'all stop trying to take Jesus away from me. We're besties, and he don't play with me, so watch your mouth. I didn't like that last part. Ma'am, you're no better than no one else. God is not going to look you, because if that's the case, everybody you step over, every homeless person that may know God, that you just throw away, then God, he just overlooks them for you, right? No, we're all equal. God doesn't look out for you more than he does me, and that's the problem that we're going to get to. That's the problem we're going to get to. But she wasn't the only one. Of course, he had his thing to say. He had his thing to say. He had his thing to say because he left a response. He said this. Churches learn how to disagree without disrespect. Some approve of me dancing in public with my wife and others don't, and that's okay. In the words of the stylistics, people make the world go round. It would be so dope if we could celebrate our differences instead of demonizing everyone that doesn't think like you. I still love you and there's nothing you can do about it. This was what he had to say. I want these people to come. Pause. This is what he had to say. But then he had more to say. Check this out.
Everybody needs an opportunity to speak their own piece versus everybody having an opinion.
I want them to run their mouth because it's something to talk about. It's something to have a conversation at the table about this because it's time to be free in God and without being in sin. It's time. You go find you a wife that you can grind on you and pray with you when she's done. Don't get no woman wrapped in swaddling clothes. I've been there, done it. I can't do that. So it's time. It's time.
Did
because
you say
if we don't
wrapped
do
in
it,
swaddling clothing?
If we don't do it, man, we're going to lose so many more marriages, man. We got to show them the truth.
Man,
That's
we
the only
love
way
you,
we
bro.
stop
We love
bleeding.
you, bro.
Love you more,
Deitrick.
man.
Okay. Now let's get to it. I want you guys to do me a favor. Find me the video of this man and his wife with his wife twerking on him. Real quick. Find me the video of her twerking on him. These are the most dignified people. These were once our leaders of this country. The highest honor. Please find me the video of her twerking on him. Okay, all right, can't find it. Find me the video of her twerking on him. These are some more well-known, dignified people. Find me the video of them twerking. Find me that. Okay? Find me the video of her twerking on him. Find me the video. You won't find those videos, and you want to know why? And if you do, you're going to look really, really hard and strong. This is my thought on it. If you are charged with a level of leadership, there are certain things that you should carry yourself with. There are certain things that you probably should not do, not because you can do it, it's fine, but maybe you shouldn't do it because you don't want that to come across to be wrong. No, it's not sin. No, it's not something that people need to be all up in arms about, because if you watch my live Monday, I wasn't mad at this. And let me tell you, I didn't care nothing about her twerking on him. That's okay. I don't care. I mean, to be honest with you, it was, to me, the only thing I had a problem with is some things we don't need to see in public. You know what I'm saying? If you putting it out here like that, what you represent, maybe not a good move, maybe not wise to do that for a host of reasons. But it's not saying you're wrong. You're not sinning or anything. That, yes, that is your wife now. It is your wife now. And I didn't like that little shot that you threw out there at the meter saying you had been there, done that. I didn't like that either. And it's been some shots taken at her. But nevertheless, this is your wife now. And I'm going to keep saying now. I'm going to say that. And I'll say that with if he was sitting here, I would say it. It's your wife now. But everything doesn't need to be seen by people. And if you are charged with leadership, these are the responsibilities that you have. I didn't have a problem with the twerking. I really didn't. And I think when you attack people that say he was twerking on his wife, you missed the point. Because nobody that I saw, well, it wasn't many, let me say that, they didn't care about the twerking part. They didn't really care. I mean, some people did, whatever. Me, that's your husband. Twerk all the way. Twerk in your bedroom with the cameras off. But twerk away. I mean, this is your party. Have fun. Whatever. My issue was, number one, I played at Powerhouse Chicago, and I'm sure Bishop and Lady Hudson, they love each other, and they like freaking frat. They do a lot of things together, and I'm sure when he has his 50th birthday celebration, they're going to go in, and I'm sure she's going to more than likely dance with him. But one thing I can say about Lady Andrea Hudson, she's not going to come out the house looking like a streetwalker. She's not going to come out the house with a Magic City uniform on. She's just not going to do that. That was the one thing that I saw that I was like, that was a little bit too much. You got a bra on with a sheer. I'm sorry, I'm old school, but my first lady shouldn't, that wouldn't be something I would want to see my first lady in. I mean, wear something nice for your husband, but to me, I thought that was a little bit too much. I mean, and it's so funny, we so desensitized to that. We so desensitized to modesty. We don't even know what that means anymore. Everybody just wear anything. Next thing you know, you can have the ones with the areolas showing everything. I mean, you're going to be like, oh, well, she can do it if she wants to. It's okay. That was the thing that I had. But the biggest issue I had was the fact that the lyrics of this song was playing, the dude was cussing in front of you, and it was so easy to do. which is the main thing. Y'all, look, the point, the biggest issue that we have as a body is we see the points. We pick something that's not really the point and we attack that. But the main thing, it just flies over our head. The point you just keep on missing, just keeps flying over your head. And I'm like, you don't see the biggest point. So Derek, what is the point? If I go to your church and I'm just the lay member, I may be the musician. If church starts at 11 o'clock and I show up at 11:15, first of all, they're going to be mad I'm the bass player. But if I show up at 11:15, if I go to a prominent church, whether it be All Nations or whether it be Powerhouse or whatever, most likely I'm going to park way out because I'm late. I'm going to park way out because I'm late. The pastor of this church and a lot of our churches, he can show up at 11:30 and get the best spots. They're going to hold his, if he doesn't have a designated parking area that nobody will park at, because they're going to treat that dude like he is Osama bin Laden if you park up in that place. They're going to treat you the worst you've ever been treated by anybody human if you park in pastor's place. He can show up at 11:30. He can get out of his car. Somebody's going to open his door for him. They're going to carry his stuff up. He's going to get the treatment of a king walking up in this building, right? Whereas I got to carry my bass. I got to open my own door. Everything, it's not the same, right? When I walk in, they're going to say, hurry up and play. When he walk in, everybody stands up and gives him honor. When he preaches, everybody hangs on his word. He's the only one in the building allowed to even mention that it's my word and if I'm the leader and if you ain't following me, you wrong, you going against God. He's the only one that says that, right? This same person now is saying, I'm on equal with you as far as accountability. I get all this honor. I get all this recognition. I get everything, your offerings. You raise up offers for me for my birthday and the anniversary, everything. And the members, the rest of them, we don't get anything. If anything, we give you our money, right? But at the end of the day, I get to do some of the things that you do wrong. Or I'm all clean. I don't mean to do that. But I get to do everything wrong, and then you still walk away. Like, oh, he's just regular. But we don't put these people on regular, we don't honor them like regular people. So if they are our leaders, and these are the people we hold to a high esteem, they are held to a higher responsibility, which means what? In the body of Christ, you cannot be out here doing what everybody else does. That's just across the board. That's my biggest issue. It is not even with him. It's the mindset that we have grown to love, that I can, my freedom, living in your freedom. What freedom is this? See, I look at the body of Christ right now, and I'm like wondering some things about it, really, to be honest with you. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. Hold on, I got to do some homework here. Where is it? Here we go. All right, so I want to show you something. And this is going to bless you. You're looking right now at a beautiful woman who, in my mind, is the body of Christ. This is the body of Christ to me. This is what I'm seeing. When I see the body of Christ, is this. The more we start to blur these lines, the more we start to, hey, that's not a sin. It's okay to do that. That's okay. Oh, no, it's okay to do that. No, y'all just being so deep. Y'all just being so deep. That ain't sin. That ain't this. This is the body, right? This is a beautiful person. And then you say, oh, no, that's okay. You can smoke weed. You can do all of this. You can get drunk and everything. Have a good time. Turn up. Oh, wait. No, sex is okay. You can do that. You can do that. No, I don't want you. Come on, go back the way. Go back that way. And it's just more and more, right? Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Now, if you're looking at this now, do you even recognize this person? Do you recognize this person now? You don't even recognize this person. The beautiful feature that you saw before, you don't recognize. And that's how I view the church right now. We blurred this stuff so much that it's unrecognizable. I don't even know what we look at anymore. When I see the church right now, it's just this blurred face because there is no standard. Please, y'all tell me, I'm just a lay member. What is the standard? Where's our ceiling? Where's the floor? Where's the line that we draw? Because I need to know, because I don't know anymore. I don't know what is it? Oh, leave it to the Holy Spirit. But the Holy Spirit is telling me maybe I shouldn't be posting drinks. Maybe I shouldn't be sitting here with a drink on my desk. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that because somebody who's struggling with alcohol can see this and they're too young as a baby to even understand that this is okay, but they're a baby. So they watch they pastor drinking and smoking and they said, oh, this is okay, so my alcohol is okay. So I don't know what the standard is anymore. I don't know because our leaders are doing this. They're letting songs with the most despicable lyrics be played while they gyrate in front of everybody. Let me tell y'all something. I interviewed 5 people. A 17-year-old, a man that don't look like us, and 3 hood dudes. And one of them was enjoying himself when I walked up to him. No pause, but I do that too well, don't I? He was enjoying himself. The 17-year-old was like, what's this? It looked like somebody turning up. The other guy, the white guy, he's my friend. These were both people I know. And he said, what is this? And I was like, somebody turning. He said, man, they going in. Okay. When I told them this was a pastor, they was like, no, it ain't. No way. Now, the young lady, she's from Trinidad. Her family's from Trinidad. So she's not familiar with charismatic. She wouldn't know him if she fell over in the street. But she was like, no, there's no way. That's not a preacher. There's no way. The 3 hood dudes that I asked, and I showed them, they was like, yeah, man, they just turning up. The turn up, yeah. One of them knew the lyrics. He knew it was Snoop Dogg. And I think Miss Lynn told me that was Snoop Dogg. I didn't know who it was because I don't really, But I found the lyrics. I did the research. But they was like, yeah. Then when I said it's a pastor, they was like, man, 2 of them said something really bad. But one of them was like, nah, man, there ain't nowhere in the world. And I asked him, would this be your pastor? No, man. And he was like this. His words were, you took a vow. You supposed to be better than that. This is the hood dude who had the thing. He was like, you're supposed to be better than that, man. You took a vow. You're supposed to be better than that, man. If I'm a security guard and I'm CEO, I'm going to change. I ain't going to do the same ish I did when I was a security guard. This is what he said. See, this is the problem. Y'all think because you can go on the street and keep it real and be real, you think they respect you. No, they're going to like you. They're going to be like, oh, man, he cool in the mug. Yeah. But when it comes time to proselytize to them or to preach to them or tell them what thus said the Lord, they're not going to listen to you because they hold these preachers to a higher esteem. So they're not ready for you to be smoking weed with them, drinking with them, doing all this crazy stuff with them. They're not ready, still babies. And guess what? As a leader, you are charged to lead them to path of righteousness, and then they will mature and understand what the freedom you are talking about. But as babies, they don't understand that. So for all you people that say, oh, street people respect you, you don't know what you're talking about because this is where I grew up at. And when I was coming up, I knew these dudes and they didn't care nothing. They wouldn't hang with no preacher that was smoking weed with them. They would, but they wouldn't respect them. They would not lead. They would not follow you. So we got our leaders, our pastors. You listen. I'm going to say this, and y'all may not agree. When he said he gave some pastors, was that for just certain group of people that went to their place? Or was they pastors for the body, period? I'm asking seriously. Because I'm thinking if you are a pastor, you're a pastor, period. And so as a leader in the body, you should be example to not just your flock. You should be example to all of us. So when he said his people were okay with it, this is why we have division now. Because whether his people are okay with it But what about the rest of us? How? And instead of you educating us, you decided to attack us. You, not him, you people decided to attack us, telling us to shut up, telling us to mind your business. Most of us don't give a falcon about her twerking. It's the optics of it all. I had street people that did not know that this was the pastor and could not believe that it was one, and still probably don't think I was capping. So this is my issue with you, because y'all defend everybody as long as they got a star by their name. Because if this was a regular down-home preacher, you probably would rip him to shreds. If I was to show some preacher coming out of the strip club, regardless of his reason, y'all would be up in here lighting him up. But because it's your favorite friend, who is no stranger to controversy, now you want to have an issue. I got people leaving post after post, like this one right here. All this crazy stuff going on social media apps, and y'all mad. Nobody was mad. Why do y'all do that? What is this? I hate when people project emotions on me that I don't have. Nobody's mad. I don't know them well enough to be mad. But you know what? I am confused. I am confused. As somebody that calls himself a believer, I don't know. I really don't know anymore. I'm sitting up and like, man, I don't know. The stuff that we accept now, okay, people say you can drink, fine. People say you can smoke weed, fine. People say you can turn up, fine. People say you can go to strip clubs, fine. We finding pastors in hookah clubs. We finding pastors smoking and dancing and twerking. We find pastors white dressed like city walkers, street walkers. We finding everything. What is the difference? Holy means set apart. What are we set apart from? What part are we set apart from? Y'all keep talking about, y'all love that scripture. Lukewarm, I spit you out my mouth. Lukewarm. Y'all know what lukewarm means? That means you got hot here, you got cold here, and you mix them together. They don't mix. Either you're going to be cold or you're going to be hot, but you can't be both. Unless we just throw in the Bible. Some of y'all even said that. The Bible's archaic. We don't need to follow that. I just don't know anymore. I just don't know. And so you defend the indefensible. And not once have you heard anybody say, my bad, I shouldn't have did that. It should, not even saying it was a private moment. It shouldn't even have reached the internet. You know why? Because you posted it. You just can't make this up. So those of us who are trying, what are we supposed to do when our leaders is telling us things that we didn't grow up like this? In my era, you didn't do stuff like this, at least not in public. And you surely didn't do it unrepentantly. So where are we going with this? What's going to happen to us in the future? I don't know. I actually looked in my Bible today and I was like, well, throw that out, throw that out. Throw this out, whatever. We just all over the place now. And we don't talk about sex. Let me touch on that, and then I'm going to jump off of here. You said we do not touch on sex enough. I don't think we do either. But the one thing we shouldn't talk about sex is you twerking and your wife looking like a streetwalker. Because people, if they did not know her, they would have thought that this was a streetwalker thug chick that was actually dancing on you in the club somewhere. That did not look like a first lady. And you didn't look like a pastor. You look like a Mississippi pimp. But, hey, this 2023, right? This blurred line is just everywhere. This is what we are now. This beautiful entity is now this. Because you wouldn't recognize this beautiful one woman under this stuff. Just blurred. I want us to return. And that's what I'm saying. Most people didn't. That's what I'm saying, twerking. I don't even think people knew that was his wife, because when I was like, no, time he told me that, I was like, no way. That's not his wife. It's not his wife. But then it ended up being. Because I forgot. I'm sorry, I had a mental lapse. I'm still thinking of Demeter. I didn't know that it was another chick during Demeter and after Demeter. I didn't know that. but it is his wife now. That's what I'm keep saying. It is his wife now. And yes, husband and wife, you should love on each other. That should be taught. But you don't have to show everybody every facet of your love with your husband or wife. You rubbing your booty and lower extremities on your husband is not a demonstration of love. That's a demonstration of sex. And we all know you can have sex with many people that you do not love. So to say that that's about love is bull. It's not about love. Staying together, working through your issues and everything else, and let's try this for 10,000. Not cheating on your wife. That's love. That's love. So you want to talk about love? Let's talk about infidelity. We failed that class. We failed that class. But we want to talk about love now. Sex and love are not the same thing, and you know that. There is nobody, I love him, so I'm going to twerk on him in the middle. No, come on now. We ain't that stupid. Some of you, it's debatable, but we ain't that stupid. We ain't that stupid. So this is my thoughts on that. Y'all can tell me what you think. Y'all can tell me what you think, but I've been seeing this stuff, and I just don't like the fact that some of you saying, Derek will never tell you to shut up. Derek wants you to talk. Derek wants you to talk. Get your mic and whatever. Derek wants you to talk. Derek wants you to talk. I want somebody now. The floor is open. If you want to jump on here, click that link and come on here. I'm done. You want to talk? Anybody want to say something? Come on, jump on here. But I just didn't like that. And to me, I understand that. Trust me. I played for a few groups that like to turn up. But you know what? During that turn up, they didn't have their cameras going. They didn't post it on Facebook. It was a private moment with private friends doing private things. Now, if you are doing sinful things, it doesn't matter if the camera on or whatever, because God still sees you. But at least you thought of other people not to broadcast it to the world. But to broadcast it and then say, oh, it's okay. I just don't know what's going on. Actually had that thought the other day about where the church, dude, Kenneth, I don't know where it is anymore. I've said this, some of you who watch me, you know I've said this. I don't recognize this church anymore because I can't understand where we are. And I find myself, I'm not leaving God. I'm not leaving the body. I'm not going anywhere. But when I was out here being an agnostic atheist, they have more, this about to bless you. The atheists have more direction than we do right now. Because the atheists, you can see it clear as a bell. They say it is no God. Agnostics, which is what I was, they say there is a God, but we can't define what it is, and so we're not going to worry about it. They are more distinct and more harmonious in what they think than we are. Because we all over the place. We like an amoeba. We just going everywhere. We're not a body. We're not a unified organism. We don't have a body, and the head is just looking down at this like my body just going crazy. Y'all ever been sick and your stomach doing bubbles and doing flips and you look down at your body like, what's going on? That's what the head of this body is doing. Looking down at the body, but I don't know what y'all doing. Your arms just going haywire. Your legs is going haywire, and the body's just like shaking his head. I saw a post by somebody earlier today, and he was saying how that God has spoken to him and said he's no longer hearing our praises. He's no longer hearing our praises. He don't want to hear it. He don't want our offerings. He don't want our tithes. It's too long to have posted here, but when I saw it, I was like, wow. And I know that's taken from the book of, what was that? What book was that talking about that? Was it Nahum? It was one of those other prophets that we really don't read. But it wasn't, I think it was Nahum. It was one of those. And it was just basically like, I get no pleasure out of their voice, their songs. I don't hear their prayers. When God was done with Israel, he was done with them. He's like, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want your sacrifice. I don't want none of that. Now, I know we don't want that. But I don't think, right now, I just don't know anymore. I just don't know. Because we just keep defending the stuff. We just keep defending stuff till the next preacher's going wild. You will defend that. Unless it's just some person you don't know, then you won't defend them. When TD Jakes danced with his wife, people did go with him. People did say, what is he doing, whatever. I didn't have a problem with it. That's his wife. They danced, whatever. But I didn't see people turning up. It didn't look like a club. And TD Jake, he always done everything with class. So it didn't look like a turn up. But y'all can tell me what you think. I'm trying to see if somebody gonna chime in. But if not, I'm gonna end this thing. But I'm glad y'all joined me. Because yeah, this bothered me. And it didn't bother me what he did. I didn't care. What bothered me is how we went about attacking each other for different opinions. I agreed. I agree. It's about class and presentation. It's about that. It's about us representing. You can have fun. You can be free. You can be, and live in your grace, as Ricky would say. But you still are representing something that's greater than you. And it's not about your truth. It's not about, you can't say I'm living in my truth. None of us have a truth as believers. You take up your cross, you follow him. It's not about you. Like Sharon, I talked to my friend earlier. She said Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. So the only truth you should be worried about is him. And somebody said the man before to start the show, he dances to the beat of his own drum. There is no music that I want to dance to that doesn't have God in it. If he's not pleased with it or it's not edifying nobody, then honestly, I just don't want. Have fun by all means, but if it's gonna be that, if it's gonna cause problems with the body, I'd rather not do it. At least not public. I just wouldn't do it. I don't. And you said who gonna stumble? I remember I was watching. I'm not gonna bring that out, but the gentleman said, if it's causing somebody to stumble, I'm gonna ask them why I stumble. Why, if it's causing somebody to stumble or if offending somebody, then maybe you should stop doing it, then talk to them and get an understanding before you continue. Some of us, because we've become so selfish, we'll just continue to do it and be like, he gonna deal with it. That ain't my problem. His problem is your problem. We're in this thing together. And I think that's another issue that's a whole nother live, how selfish we become. Everything's about me. These prophets come and prophesy to you about singularity things. Oh, you're going to get a house. You're going to get a job. You're going to get rich. You're going to get this. You. What about us? What about that? Because now we so selfish. If I'm offended, I'm just going to deal with it. I'm struggling with drinking alcohol. I'm struggling with sex. I want to go to the club with my girls behind me. I want to go to there and flick up some dollars at them. And then I want to smash. Hey, my first lady dancing up on there. Hey, it's okay. Let's do it. By all means, have a good time. You're only 50 once, and a lot of us ain't going to see 50. A lot of us not going to see 50. A lot of my friends that have passed didn't even make 50. So have a good time. This is not about that. It's not even about him. But the presentation needs to be something that everybody can say, okay, this is cool. As a body, we unify. We okay with this. But if it's something so far out there, and some of y'all love to push the envelope. Y'all see how far it can go. Y'all do that. And then you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that. You do that. Stop trying to be different. Stop trying to put. Jesus was a radical, but he had a purpose. What is your purpose? What is yours? You don't want to free people. You want to do what you want to do. And you want everybody to follow suit. That's not freedom. If it's causing issue, it's not freedom. If you fail to explain to people because you don't feel like you owe the body an explanation, then that's not freedom. That makes no sense to me. Y'all can tell me what you think. But thank you for joining me. It was a good Friday. I wanted to just jump on here. But I thank you guys. Do you guys have any questions for me while I'm here? Or we can call this thing adjourned. But I do love you guys. I'll be back Monday. I just wanted to jump on here real quick. I gave you guys an hour 15. But I just wanted to jump on here and give you my thoughts because it just wrecks my brain where we are. And I just feel like we need to continue to pray for each other and pray for these people that you may not agree with. And I still love them. I don't hate. I'm not mad at anybody. What are you saying, Greg? You want to talk about the playoffs? I'll do that later. I got to finish this song. But I will definitely do that later because, yeah, it's been a lot happening. But I just wanted to touch on this, and I hope this blessed you. I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say. And if you have anything else you want to leave in the comment section, I will continue this conversation in the comment section. But I love you guys. I'm about to jump over here where we get the Journey live recordings. Jameer, I don't know. Were you at that concert? Man, if you were at that concert, man, do you know I lost some pounds up there. That was the hottest church I have ever been in a long time. I think the devil was directed right next to Ricky. Was like, come on. That church was hot. Man, I was sweating. You know, I'm a warm body anyway, so it doesn't take much for me to get going. And you know, that sweat was like the altos was fanning me. I was way up there with all them lights and with that gray outfit that we had on. I hope we can wear that soon. That outfit is kind of dope. But man, it was hot. It was hot in that church. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But I love you guys. I'm about to jump off of here. Take care. Have a great night.